That's why everyone's so fucked up now. Because no one has the very special episode of ... anymore.
No.
Okay? The kids today need to watch the Different Strokes episode where they get molested in the basement.
I still remember that episode.
That fucked me up.
That was scary.
And what was that episode titled?
The one with the molester.
It was ahead of its time.
The one you shouldn't see.
Voice meter's working. And put your volume up because you're
I'm good. It was good last time.
fucking mumbler.
You're a mumbler. I have an overbite. I have a disability, fucking cunt.
I apologize.
The unchosen ones.
All right, so I guess we're starting off with this.
Any
douchebag.
kickers say anything weird this week?
One guy did. One guy said something really weird. I mean, it's like the kicker.
You know his jersey's selling like crazy?
That's just sad.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Do they know like where it's selling?
Just total sales. Well, I'm sure it's not New York. But it's like the number one selling jersey right now.
You know, and it's just like people don't have a, like some people are defending it.
Women are defending it.
It's
There's women on there.
How do you
100% agree.
It's just incredible. It's just incredible. It's just like
That's why these guys do this.
Take us back to the 1950s. I mean, yeah, all these girls there, a lot of those girls there, they just work their ass off.
Can you imagine sitting there
right
and hearing that?
Well, some of them have spoken out, like because the college won't say anything, the Chiefs won't say
anything.
anything.
A lot of them are defending him. The Chiefs owner sounds like she was defending him.
Some of the students there, not too happy about this guy making it all about himself. You know, making the whole thing about it was their day.
Make a statement.
It was their day, and then he brings a whole bunch of politics into it instead of like saying, congratulations. Now, go out there and be successful. No,
it was the exact opposite.
Now go out there and don't forget the TV dinners,
They just spent a ton of money for 4 years that they're never going to pay back. And that's what they hear?
I mean, and then he throws in like Pride Month as an example of a deadly sin.
Just like the gays get a
like
a shot.
Get a little shrapnel for the gays. Like, hey, what do we do?
As far as there's nothing but the Jews in there.
I mean, it's a liberal arts college. It's like, it's a religious school, but it's also like...
It's not all religious people.
No, it's not like ultra religious. It's just, people who believe in God and they pray, but they don't believe that women shouldn't vote anymore or shit like that. That's where this is all going.
Did you hear that a lot of people are saying like he went to conversion therapy and he was like gay
I heard
in college?
Rumors about that, but I don't know if
I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know.
It would be great if it was, though, wouldn't it?
It would be good. Well, the people, doth protest too much.
It's always those people.
It's always those people. It's always the people that
they did some research on him before they had him speak.
Right.
Or
I don't
hey,
know.
Can I see your speech?
Yeah.
Like what are you going to say?
Did anyone review?
Unless you give him a totally different speech.
I don't know. There's one student said my jaw dropped at one point. She graduated with a graphic design degree. It was very uncomfortable. I was looking back and forth to some of my friends, and we were like, this is just not the time and place for this at all.
I mean, I agree, but it's not the time and place.
Yeah, it's like basically like, hey, get you all ready to go out and start a family. Like what?
Which is fine if you want to, but if you don't want to.
It's not. But is that
bred for that?
Is that a commencement address? Yeah,
he's a kicker too. Like maybe if it was a quarterback, it'd be fine.
More credibility.
But, Mahomes maybe. But kicker, the kicker.
The better your position, the better credibility you have.
Mahomes cannot like women. It's fine. I'm sure there's guys on the team who agree with what he said.
Yeah,
there's got to be guys who are not agreeing with it.
And then there's the whole like school ties portion of it, like where a lot of athletes are recruited in there, and they're not religious at all.
They just go where the money.
Yeah, not the money, but where the recruit.
Right,
where they give them. Yeah, they give them the
scholarship.
They give them the scholarship, and then they can play on a team where they get.
They're not looking at Catholic or not.
No,
Catholic.
they're looking. Just like that movie, and that was took place in what.
40s, maybe?
No, 50s or something like that. They did that all the time, Yeah, come to let's get a Jewish kid to play football at the Catholic
school. Great idea.
Well, they need.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
That wasn't a true story, was it? I mean, I'm sure things like that happen.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a verbatim true
Yeah.
story.
Probably a bunch of experiences.
That's one of my favorite movies. So
I
many
haven't seen
people.
that in a long time.
So many people in that movie. You know who else was in that movie? You don't know who was that? Both Matt Damon and
really?
and Ben Affleck.
Oh, really?
Matt Damon was the villain.
That was way before.
It was like one of their first movies. I think it was before Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, it had to be.
It had Affleck. It had Damon. It had what was his name? Robin from the Schumacher Batman and Robin.
O'Donnell. Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell.
What year was that movie made?
That was
91.
90. No. Oh, what do you think?
91.
92. Close.
What do they do with him? It's a PR nightmare.
I don't know.
You cut him? You can't cut him, I guess.
I don't know if you can cut him or if you should cut him. I mean, it's really about, you're selling. Listen, you're selling a brand, right? If I say a bunch of crazy shit and it's made public, my employer might not want me to represent them when talking to clients. So it's all up to if
I started saying that to customers at work, I would get fired.
It's up to the employer. Like, are you representing my brand well or not? And it's subjective. If the Chiefs owners think that that's fine, then that's fine for them. But if they think it's not, then it's okay to cut him too.
Kaepernick can't play because of what he said.
Exactly.
And he can play with
Kaepernick was totally blackballed,
And that was not okay. But this is okay. This is free speech. What he did was not free.
Right, exactly. So it's good for one, but not the other. Right, yeah, because America. Right. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. I mean, if you're gonna say that you got to protect freedom of speech, but it's got to be universal.
Your freedom of speech.
Yeah, it's got to be universal across the board. It can't just be for the people you like.
I bet you they're looking for any reason, to cut him. Like he misses a field goal and we'll be like, sorry, man, get him out of here. He misses two in a row.
They're going to give him deflated balls.
So trade him to Cleveland. Cleveland will take anything.
It's just, the hijack somebody else's moment, like you're there.
That's the worst part of it.
Yeah, that's really the worst part. You're there to enhance.
Talk about a narcissist.
You're there to enhance their experience so they remember it forever. I mean, they're going to remember it forever, all right, but for all the wrong reasons.
Say something and get out of there. Like, nobody wants to hear your personal opinions on women.
You're not there to take sides of one part of the graduate class. Like, some of them are going to like it, but others are going to be horrified, and then they remember that forever. Yeah. You're not there to do that.
And that was a pretty cool commencement. Like, if you have to have a commencement speech, that's a pretty cool one.
I guess you could. The story later is pretty good, right?
Yeah. Guess who was that my commencement speech?
Remember when Butker sounded off like a douche?
Do you remember who was at yours? Right. I don't even remember mine.
No, I don't.
No one was.
So I guess it is pretty memorable. Yeah. You'd have that story in your pocket.
But not if you're a woman. It's probably not great.
Still a good story. Even if you want to defend the right for him to say it, which I do, it's fine. But you also have
I can
the right.
call him an idiot for saying it.
Yeah, it's also about the backlash. Yeah. That's also the right of everyone else. Okay, you don't just get to say things with impunity.
No, people don't understand what free speech is.
No, they really don't.
It's a freedom from the law and from the government, not from public opinion.
Exactly,
not
from public opinion,
saying it,
and not from consequences at your workplace.
No, that's capitalism. Yeah. We speak with our money.
Right, you're not going to be incarcerated because that's what's in the Constitution. Right. But you can be fired. Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah. Okay, I can't go into and tell my boss he's a fucking prick.
No, I wish I could.
And kiss my ass in Macy's window because, and then go, free speech, you can't fire me. No, bullshit. Of course That's not the real world.
You can't be rude to customer. You can't do that.
That's not in the Constitution. He just can't send me to jail.
Right.
For that.
That's all it is. That's what it is. Well, they boycott when there's they don't like who's on their beer cans. Right. They can stop buying the beer.
Yeah, that's okay to boycott.
And shoot it with a gun.
Right. That's okay to boycott.
You do the same thing on the other side.
But whenever it says, let's not go to Chiefs games because this asshole's on their team.
You're woke.
Right. Yeah, then you're woke all of a sudden.
Fuck off.
Right.
It's like bullshit.
All right. Enough of this prick. So sadly, X-Men is over for the season.
Yeah.
Yes. What an amazing. I mean, just did it not blow? It not only made people eat crow, which is my favorite part of it, but it just blew all expectations like out of the water. Like completely out of the water. Like I was not expecting. Did you expect this going in? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
I didn't think they were going to do what they did, all like pulling Wolverine's name out.
Yeah, I mean, what a classic moment. But did you think that they were going to be as heavy?
No,
as they
I thought
are?
it would be light.
Right,
skirt around. Things.
And I don't know why we would think that because it was never light. Even the old show got heavy. You know, and that's the reason that was so different.
Our old shows were heavy. Even all the stuff we watched when we were younger, it was all really heavy stuff. You know,
not all of it.
A lot of it was like.
No, X-Men. That's why X-Men was different. That's why it broke ground, because it was heavier than some of the other cartoons. It was a trailblazer.
Some of those Boy Meets World
episodes. Boy Meets World was heavy. Yeah, but I'm not talking about sitcoms. Sitcoms. No, that I agree with you.
Sitcoms were. Yeah.
Sitcoms in the 80s and 90s, that's why everyone's so fucked up now, because no one has the very special episode of ... anymore. No. Okay. The kids today need to watch the Different Strokes episode where they get molested in the basement. I still
remember that episode.
That fucked me up.
That was scary.
It was very scary. The bald-headed guy, what was his name?
That
wasn't Dick Van Patten, right?
I don't think so.
Was it Dick Van Patten?
Dick Van Dyke?
No, it was definitely not Dick Van Dyke. Who was the guy? Who was the molester in the basement?
Don't just say he was. You can't just say that.
And what was that episode titled? Molester in the basement.
The one with the molester.
It was ahead of its time before Friends started naming their episodes.
The one you shouldn't see. Some of those Boy Meets Worlds were crazy heavy.
Those Boy Meets World got heavy. Yeah. Yes. Boy Meets World, excellent.
Even Girl Meets World got heavy.
Girl Meets World was very good, very underrated. Yeah. I made sure that my daughter watched.
Yeah, she watched.
She watched those because
did she watch Boy Meets World?
Is
she old enough?
No, we didn't show. You know what happens is like she sees Boy Meets World and it's like, why does it look grainy? You know, the youth they're like, it better be high def or no def. That
high def or 1950s.
Yeah, that's the choice. That's
no middle.
Edict. That's the edict now. No middle ground. Yeah, but she wouldn't watch. She doesn't watch anything that's not high def. She can't even bear
look at it.
She can't even bear it.
Burns her eyes.
Yeah, it burns her eyes. Right. She doesn't understand it. Like what happened to this?
That's like black and white with us.
Right. What is this? Zapruder tape? You know, it's like it's got to be high def. So she did like that show though, and it was good that she watched it. Who was in? Let's see. Search Different Strokes molester episode. Does it come up? It's called The Bicycle Man.
The Bicycle Man.
The Bicycle Man.
Part 1. It was a 2-parter.
It was a 2-parter, right? The Bicycle Man scarred me for life.
What year was that?
That was...
It was 88.
That was 1983.
Oh, you probably saw it in a rerun.
No. I didn't see it in a rerun. I remember it, but I don't... I remember not understanding what happened in that room.
Oh, probably better off.
Yeah, and I was like, what? What happened? I just know something bad happened. I don't think I did. No, I thought that maybe he hurt him. And I knew he got hurt.
Yeah.
That I knew, but I didn't know exactly.
How would you know at that age?
No, I didn't know exactly. But all I know is it fucked me up. Like, don't go to a basement with an old guy.
Well, good. And did you ever go into a basement with an old guy?
No, I didn't.
Just that one time. But I got candy.
He did have good candy. I couldn't resist. So who was that guy? Let me see. That was
Kevin Spacey.
Allegedly. Who was that guy? That was he erased his identity from the internet. He totally erased his identity.
That's the only thing he ever did.
That's upset. Gordon Jump. That's his name. Gordon Jump.
What else did he do? IMDb in. He only plays molesters. Molester 1, Molester 2, Molester 16. What movie was that? 16.
Why are there so many parts for molesters out there?
This guy was always working.
Let's see. What else was he in that we know? He was in a Seinfeld episode. 2 episodes.
Married with Children.
Yeah, Married with Children.
He did a little
Baywatch.
Oh, wow. He was
Growing
big
Pains.
Stuff.
I still remember the Growing Pains where Mike gets in trouble and his dad really
I remember that one too.
Screams at him.
Yeah.
It's the first
like a big
time,
episode.
and I think he used the word hell.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, whoa, tone it down, Jason Seaver. Hell.
Well, you don't say that now.
That was shocking. That was shocking when he said that.
I remember that.
I can't remember what he got in trouble for. But he yelled like the hell or damn. There was a swear word in there.
Swear word.
And the dad yelled like, whoa. Because like up till then, I don't think I ever saw like a TV sitcom dad really scream like that.
No, it was always funny.
And then Matthew Perry's character died in that show.
Oh, yeah.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
Silver Spoons had a heavy episode.
Yeah.
Or a couple, actually. There were a couple in there. That's why that is the key. That's why Gen X, Gen, what's
Gen X. That's Gen X.
No, but what's the tween? Zennials, right. That's why Zennials are so like even keel.
Yeah, that's what we are. You know? We got everything.
Yeah, we're even keel because we grew up like with all these very special episodes of sitcoms. We learned about life from television. We really did.
Which I think was better.
I think, and that was all the boomers of the day were like, TV will rot your brain.
No,
more TV. That's what you needed.
The boomers would have rotted their brains.
More TV. That's what the Z's now they needed. They need more special episodes of, but there's no more, you're on YouTube all the time.
No, there's no,
fucking YouTube all the time. Which we love very much. Nothing wrong with YouTube.
Please give us money.
Please don't cancel.
Is that how that works? So Spider-Man Noir, they're doing a live action.
I heard
Nick Cage.
Well, why not Nick Cage? Of course, Nick Cage. Absolutely.
How old is he now?
Nick Cage?
70s?
Nick Cage, good question. Because it's not one of those guys you think of as old.
No.
Even though he's older now.
He's got a lot of work done, probably.
He might have had some work, but it's not bad work though.
No. He had his whole face taken off.
That was a bad surgery. Not a good job.
You just wanted a nose job, man. The fuck? I didn't want John Travolta's face. How is that an option even?
I think that was Dr. Bombay.
I'm going to guess he's 71.
Think he's 71?
Yes.
I'm going to say, okay, before we look.
Price is Right rules?
Definitely Price. Always Price is Right. Always Price is Right rules. You say 71? Yeah. I'm going to go.
Don't you dare. Don't you do it.
No, I'm not going to do 72. I'm not.
Don't you fucking.
72, Bob.
Oh.
Fuck.
Bitch.
They should have had the mics open on the rest of the audience when someone bids $1 over.
Whore.
Cunt. I'm going to say, I'm going under. I'm going 60. I'm going to say in 66.
I think you're off.
Think I'm off?
I think you're way off.
All right, let's go. Survey says, shit, just the dates here.
Oh, here we go. What's the year? I'll do it because you got it wrong.
But it's on a 4, so 64. That's easy.
64.
He's 80 years old.
So, let's do this.
That's off. No, that's easy. That's easy. 40 plus 20. That's easy. 40 plus 20. 60. He's only 60. He's only 60 years old.
That wasn't a fun way to do it.
See, but that was fast.
Well, because it was an even 4-4.
Yeah. That's why I said it's easy,
Are we right, though? Are you sure?
60 to 100 is 40, and then plus 20. That's 60. Right?
Let me do it. 64. So 6 goes.
No, not 64, 60. He's an even 60. He was born in 64. Yes, he's way younger than we thought.
I was doing the math.
Yeah, he's only 60 years old.
Really?
It says right here, born January 7th, 1964.
No, he's 80.
He's not 80.
He will be in 20 years.
Yeah, in 20 years he'll be 80. Right.
Wow. He doesn't look good for 64.
Not 64, 60.
60. You don't look good for 60.
He does.
Yeah.
I think he does look
He's
good.
Just weird looking.
He's not weird looking. I think he's got a very unique face.
It's a nice way of saying weird looking.
That's not a nice way of saying it. He's just like, he's Nick Cage, Yeah. Like that's Nick Cage. He shouldn't look any other way.
He's a big comic book.
Yeah, no, he owned an Action Comics #1. I don't think he still owns it anymore.
I don't know. He's got a huge collection.
Yeah, didn't he name his kid Kal-El?
No.
Yeah, he did.
Did he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Look that up.
No, I'm sure he did. He named
his kid's name is Kal-El.
I'm pretty sure.
Kal-El Cage. That's a cool ass name.
Yeah, his kids are Kal-El and Weston.
Why'd that kid get screwed over? Weston.
What does Weston mean? Must have been maybe the wife probably got, like, this one's mine.
I'll give you Kal-El. I get everything else.
Oh, but I wanted Hal Jordan.
Let's have a third kid. I wonder what the girl would have been called.
Cara-El.
What kind of wife? I guess when you're a billionaire.
Right.
No,
he's not a billionaire.
He's got a lot of movies. He's got 1 million movies.
Even if he was a billionaire, he spent it poorly.
Maybe not. Maybe he's one of those guys who hoards it.
He's not a billionaire. No,
he must have been in 100 movies.
I mean, he's in a lot of movies, but he's not the kind of guy that, I don't think he's made sound financial decisions. I don't have any evidence of that.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I just don't. He comes off as like he didn't.
Think he's got like weird shit in his house. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's a billionaire. I don't think he is.
I don't think he does anything.
I don't think
He's got a bunch of comics. Those are all worth money. That's what he's spending.
Yeah, but you know what he does though? He buys and sells them. Like he sold that Action
maybe
Comics
he's got
number one. Yeah, I don't think he
he's-
has it anymore. Yeah, he sold it at auction. 2.1 million he got for it,
Wow.
which is
Low.
low. Which is low. Yeah, and especially because that's Nick Cage's copy. That's a special
That's
copy,
true too. Yeah.
right? So that has there's
You could
more-
probably get like
Right.
the last one sold for what, 6?
because I'm sure that when people sell that copy now, it's labeled Nick Cage's. You know, it's
Right,
labeled
right.
under the description.
Right. So they
This used to belong to
sell
Nick
it for more.
Cage, right? So there's that kind of caveat to it. But he only sold it for 2.1, and the last one I think sold for
6? Wasn't it
over
6?
6. Yeah, 6 something,
Yeah.
6 and change.
What year? When did he sell it?
This was
2000.
2011. So 13 years
13
ago.
years ago.
And now it's over 6 million. But I
Triple.
guess, if you're in it for money, you got to sell it at some
Yeah.
point. It's always that book's always going to be worth
Why
more
would he sell that?
the
though?
later you
Did he
the
need
later
2
you
million?
sell it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying maybe he didn't make
Yeah,
good
maybe.
financial decisions, right?
Maybe that
because
was
if you're such a big fan, you name your kid Kal-El.
Why would you
Don't you
sell that?
Don't you keep that
Yeah.
for forever? Unless you had to sell it.
Yeah,
for
maybe you had to
a
pay
reason.
the
I don't know.
mortgage.
Maybe not. We
You
should
never know.
We shouldn't disparage his.
Why not? Let's disparage. Everybody else does it.
I love Nick Cage though. He's one of my favorite actors all time. He's great.
Everybody loves that movie he did, Raising Arizona. Do you love that movie?
I don't love that
People,
movie,
like,
but I
love that
understand
movie.
his performance in it was really good.
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
But it's not a movie like it doesn't have high replay value.
Yeah, it's not a movie I can get to. Though.
No, I don't watch it a lot.
Some people it's in their top 5 movies.
Did you see the one where he makes fun of himself? The latest one with.
I started it. I didn't finish.
Oh,
it.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. You got to watch the whole thing. It's really funny, and he goes at himself really good. He doesn't pull any punches on like his own hubris. He doesn't care.
He's self-deprecating.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got a lot more heart than you thought it was gonna. And Pedro Pascal is really funny in it too. He's really good at it.
So all these comedians are complaining about their free speech. Meanwhile, stand-up comedy's tripled in size over the last decade.
Right. There's a boom in stand-up comedy over the last couple of years.
And it's not necessarily all great comedy. It's just a
Right.
lot.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah,
There's
and
so much of it.
They've all got a podcast.
You can blame and laud Netflix, for that.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that really
And the podcasting too is really
podcasting, right?
opened
Which
up stuff.
they do the podcast to promote their
And it gives them a big crowd, a big fan base.
Yeah, they promote their specials and
Right.
their stand-up acts on their podcast. And Netflix kind of stole that whole thunder from HBO because it used to be HBO. It was like when you got an HBO stand-up special.
But they didn't, not anyone could get that. You had to be really good.
That's how you knew you made it.
Right.
But then Netflix just started
handing them out.
like
Candy.
like trick-or-treat candy. Everyone gets milk duds.
And some of these guys too, they have a big podcast, but like they're not known by a lot of people. They're
Right.
just known by their audience.
Right.
But that's who goes to see them.
And then also with like Instagram and TikTok.
Right.
And all these comedians using social media now. And poor Dane Cook, the guy who really engineered that whole thing, made a whole career out of the first stand-up comedian to make a career off of social media.
Yeah.
He got, like blacklisted and panned and totally, he does the way he does.
It was a gimmick.
Yeah, it was a gimmick. And he's just, they called him, just a internet comedian. He took a lot of shit, and he's the one that
He started this whole thing.
He pioneered that whole thing of using social media to enhance your stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And now if you don't do it, you
have no
forget
chance.
about it. You have no shot.
No.
Yeah. So he's like kind of like the what do you call it? The ones of the Constitution.
Moses.
No. You're a bad guesser. Not Moses, not the forefathers?
Forefather?
Forefathers? Is that it? Is that when they say the forefathers of the Constitution, right? That's what they say.
Probably not.
Why is it only 4? Or is it a different
No,
4?
forefathers, like F-O-R-E.
F-O-R-E, fathers. Right.
Forefathers.
Forefathers, right.
Not the forefathers. Wasn't a crime family.
Sounds like a sitcom.
Wasn't a Sopranos spinoff.
Sounds like a woke sitcom. Got 4 dads, huh?
4 dads. Uh-oh.
My 2 dads wasn't enough. Now, 4 fathers.
My forefathers. That's a good idea.
coming this fall to woke TV.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
4 is too many. Supposed to have one father.
Remember the show My Two Dads and they weren't even gay? Remember that one?
Well, they had to be. Who was in that, My Two Dads?
Wasn't one of the dads Paul Reiser? I'm pretty
No.
sure. Yeah, Paul Reiser. That's where like Paul Reiser got like his start, I think, was on that show. But who was the daughter?
She was in, isn't she the daughter from the show that was on Friday, TGIF?
TGIF.
What was the show with the family with Patrick Duffy?
Step by Step.
She was the daughter in Step by Step.
You might be right. I think you're right about that.
That I remember. Important shit. So Happy Gilmore is getting the sequel on Netflix.
That must be part of his. I think he has this like big contract with
He must
Netflix.
own part of Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know. They gave him like back end ownership points.
Do you really watch any
options.
of his other movies? Like
I
his
saw
newer-
some of them. I saw the
space one didn't get good reviews. I didn't watch it.
I didn't. Oh no, I watched it.
Is it good?
I did watch it. It was not as good as the hype, but it was also interesting to watch him in that film. It was good. I think it's worth the time. If you're an Adam Sandler fan, I think it's worth your time. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So back to Happy Gilmore. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's not going to be the
Yeah.
first one.
No, they're not gonna
Can't
be
do no Carl Weathers.
I've liked some of his Netflix movies, like the dinner party. What was it? The dinner party ones? I can't remember. One
Yeah,
with Jennifer Aniston.
Honestly, I don't
like
care
that.
for his stuff anymore.
The one where he was a bookie.
That was good, but that righteous.
That was really good.
Gems.
Hidden, no, not Hidden Gems. Uncut Gems.
I was going to say Righteous Gemstones. That's the HBO
No.
show.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
And the one where he's a
the basketball one's
the
very good
basketball
too.
one
Yeah.
where he plays what was he, a recruit? No, not a recruit.
A scout.
He was a scout, right?
Yeah.
He
That's
was
a very
scout.
good movie too.
That was kind of like the Albert Brooks movie, Scout, but for basketball.
A little bit.
It was a little bit like that. Yeah, which I also enjoy. I love that movie. But that was really good. So I think he's got.
But his comedy to me is like, I don't know. Like if you've seen one of his movies, it's kind of the same thing.
Well, so I mean that's his style. It's over
Yeah.
the top.
I don't
you
know. It doesn't.
Well,
interest
but
me
did you have
anymore.
that? Did you blame the Zucker brothers for their kind of comedy?
No.
Back with
but
Naked
his-
Gun and Airplane
but that's
and all
like
that.
A
So this-
smarter, raunchier. Like when you're older, that's still funny, maybe even more so.
but it's stupid.
His comedy is like really like
It's
child
no,
stupid. to
come
me.
on, you're going to say things in Airplane and Naked Gun weren't childish? Of
They
course
were,
they
but
are.
it was smart, childish. Like those were smart jokes.
There were smart jokes in there, but there are also very childish jokes in there.
Yeah, but that Airplane's a smarter movie than any of
I'll
Adam
agree
Sandler's
with that.
movies.
It's more clever.
It's
okay,
yeah.
but Sandler's comedy was unique for his
It
time.
was unique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He had a unique.
I think I
brand
grew out of his comedy.
of comedy. Really?
Yeah,
I still think it's funny.
yeah.
I still like
Well,
Sandler's
lower
comedy.
IQ.
Set you up for that one.
So what are we doing?
I just have a few books, and I have a point to make about it that I think you'll actually understand.
That is
Because-
a shitty segment.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes.
No, it's because from when we used to collect too.
Supergirl.
No more Supergirl.
Oh.
Although there's a female involved. One that I got was Evangeline. Do you remember Evangeline?
Yeah, they're making a movie. I heard.
Right. Well, I got it because, and it's a spec buy, which I told myself I wasn't going to do anymore, but sometimes I just
What's
can't
a
help
spec
myself.
buy?
Like you buy it based on the speculation. Speculation,
Ah.
right? Yeah,
But you
so-
don't have the time to say the full word. I hate that. I hate people who do that. Shorten words. You can say
It's
it.
called an
Say
abbreviation.
speculation.
Speculation
Speculation buy.
It's a spec buy.
That sounds racist.
But the only reason I got it is because of who's attached to it, and that's Margot Robbie. So
Yeah.
I thought, basically she's kind of everything she's touching turns to gold right now. So I thought maybe, why not? It was cheap, super cheap. So got it for a few dollars. And I never had this. Surprisingly, I never got this book. Did you?
Never
You
heard
didn't
of
get
her.
No, it was it was in the 90s when we were
I
collecting.
don't
a lot.
remember
You don't remember
the
this?
character.
Yeah, it's not even one of the major publishers. It was Maximum.
DC? Oh,
Maximum Press.
Yeah, so she's attached to it. But I wanted to make I wanted to show the comparison. Like I also got this one. This is, remember Absolute Power I was talking about? So
That's
this is the
cool
special. It's a cool cover. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if it shows up as good though, because
it's dark.
this is the current day foil. Now it's if you look at it in the right light, it's really beautiful, right? You can really, the colors are nice and everything like that. But if you're not looking at it in the direct light, it kind of disappears.
Yeah.
You know, the foil, that's what I wanted to show. That's the comparison I wanted to show you, is like the difference between today's foil and old school foil. You know, the colors popped more. You didn't have to get the direct light. Like another example is, remember that X-Men Alpha? You know, like those just showed up better. XO Manowar, the old foil, the old chromium covers, the color.
See, you like the old stuff better.
old man yelling at the comics.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, the chromium was real chromium. And that's the way it was, and we liked it.
I got a segment instead of your crappy comic book segment.
You can't have a segment. Who authorized this?
I want equal segmentation.
Pretty sure that vernacular is completely wrong, but okay, what's your segment?
I want to Thanos snap a group every week out of existence. It's cool.
So this is a group that I would expect to be annoying you. They're annoying you.
Yeah.
So you want to wipe them off the face
of the planet. People who ride bikes.
Wait a minute.
Especially, there's special.
Wait, motorcycles?
No. Bikes. Two-wheel dummy bikes. Especially on the road. I don't care if there's a bike lane. Especially the ones who are just in the street. I drive near the beach, and there's always people on a bike.
So there's always people. Everywhere I go, there's people.
In the road. Like, I don't care if there's laws. Well, they're in my way.
This is not going to hold up in a
what?
court of law.
And then I don't care. And then you pass them, and then somehow they catch up to you, right. And they go past
at
you
the
again.
next light. Isn't that annoying?
Yeah.
When a biker,
and you got to
bike
swerve
rider
around. They're never in the bike lane like they're supposed to be. I should be allowed to hit them, but since I'm not, I want to Thanos snap the shit out of them.
So you're kind of saving them
from themselves.
Did it work?
Well, you're still here.
I don't ride a bike.
I know, but I put you in there.
It's fucked up, man. Can't just throw people into a Thanos snap.
With a few people in there. You've ridden a bike before.
One of the best shows on TV had their finale past week, Young Sheldon. One of the best, maybe the best spinoff ever, do you think? At least top 5 spinoffs of all time.
Yeah, could be.
It's not a lot really of good. Like there were like some of the great spinoffs I can think of are the Jeffersons. Like a lot of people don't know that that's even a spinoff, you know? What else was a great spinoff?
There aren't many.
Probably not that many great. Well, there are a lot of spinoffs, but not many.
Well, I mean, the friggin'
amazing.
All those NCI.
I guess, I'm not counting those though. I'm counting
those. Do very well.
They do very well, but it's just like rinse and repeat, man. Yeah. Those shows.
Law and Order. Did Law and Order ever have a spinoff?
They have a million spinoffs. Yeah, but I'm talking about comedies. So, what else was a great? Oh, well, Girl Meets World, as we said before. Yeah. Girl Meets World was a great spinoff. Didn't last long, but it was a great spinoff.
Well, I think they did what they wanted to do.
I think they completed the series there. What else was really good? Oh, Facts of Life was a spinoff of Different Strokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty good. That lasted a long time. George Clooney got to start Facts of Life.
Family Matters. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Family Matters. Right. From Perfect Strangers, which is another, such an undervalued show. Perfect Strangers. Which
no
was
one knows what that show
modern
is.
day Laurel and Hardy. I mean, that's one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. Those guys. I would love to see a reunion of that show. That would be great.
Everyone's still
I think everyone's still alive. Yeah. Yeah, everyone in that show.
You got to ask that.
Right. Yeah.
That's where
that means that means you're getting old. Is everyone still breathing from what I used to watch?
Am I?
Oh, how can you forget Frasier? Frasier's probably Frasier might be the most successful spinoff. You got to say Frasier, right? But I don't think it's the best.
I didn't care for Frasier.
Actually, I used to not care for it. And then something happened where I kept seeing them late at night for some reason on reruns. And I was like, wow, this show, I really didn't, I really underestimated that show.
Everybody Loves Raymond too is a show I don't care for, but I know it's funny. Like I'll stop on it. I think
King
it's
of
funny.
Queens is a spinoff
I don't
of
like
Raymond.
King of Queens either.
What? You don't like King of Queens?
It's fine, but it just doesn't. I don't
No,
know. There's certain
that
things that just don't get you trapped
That had
into
Jerry
it.
Stiller in it.
No,
That
it's good.
great.
I think it's funny when I'll watch it. I'll laugh.
That's I actually think King of Queens was better than Everyone Loves Raymond.
No.
Yeah, I do. I think it was funnier.
Aren't there things that you pass by that you just can't get into for some reason?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just for whatever. It
Well,
doesn't-
Lord of the Rings. I can't get into it.
Yeah.
And I understand that that's a me problem.
Yeah.
But
It's not a problem. It's just you're not into it.
fucking hate those Hobbit.
I can't get to them.
Can't hate those movies. I hate those movies.
You're
Really?
in trouble.
I can't. I hate those films. I really can't. And I've tried and I've watched all of them repeatedly trying. I've tried my hardest to get into them because I just can't understand. I'm such a consumer of geek culture, everything geek, and I just can't understand why it's one of the most heralded sci-fi series of all time, sci-fi fantasy series of all time. And I just can't get into it. I just don't understand what's wrong with me. I whip myself
People
as I watch
love
it.
those things.
I love Da Vinci Code my back while I'm watching it. I just
Stop
can't
watching
understand. I can't understand why I don't
I think
like
Dune
it.
is better.
Dune is way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Oh,
I'm talking
you're in
about
so much trouble.
I'm talking about the old David
The
Lynch.
old Dune.
The David Lynch Dune is
The
better.
shitty dude.
I just
can't
don't.
get into it.
I just think it's so
Boring.
Boring. Just boring. And I finally knew that I wasn't alone though. At least when I saw Clerks 2.
Those fucking Hobbit movies were boring as hell. All it was a bunch of people walking. 3 movies of people walking to a fucking volcano. Here's the first movie. And here's the second movie.
He is way off, loser.
You ready for the third movie?
Fucking A.
Even the fucking trees walked in those movies.
Because that's
Well, there's if you like Star Wars, you don't like it's one of the
I
other.
guess maybe it's you don't like. Yeah, I don't know if you can like both. But when Randall does his diatribe on in Clerks 2 about Lord, I mean that was just I couldn't stop. I stopped breathing. I was laughing so hard, because it was just word for word. It can't be said better of why I don't like those movies.
There's different factions of nerds.
Yeah, there are. I can't stand.
That's like a Dungeons and Dragons type nerd thing.
But getting back to Young Sheldon, I think that Young Sheldon, one of those last shows that really give younger viewers, because a lot of younger people watch Young Sheldon. My kid, I started watching that because of her. She started watching them all the time, and then we'd start watching them at dinner. And I wasn't even going to watch it because I just I'm not getting into a spin-off. I love Big Bang Theory, saw every episode, but I was like, I'm not going to get into Young Sheldon. But then I started seeing them through her, and I was like, oh my God, this is the Wonder Years for their group, because that's really what it is.
It's him telling a story.
Well, it is, yeah. It's him telling the story of his life, and you see a time where it's the 80s for them, the late 80s for them. Is like the 60s for us. And I started thinking oh my God, this is a time that's so far away from them. Cause she always asks me what time frame is this? And I tell her, she's like, wow, that's a long time ago, cause it is 30 years, right? Cause it's 30 years. And when we watched the Wonder Years in the 90s, that was about the 50s and 60s, right? So it was, Vietnam War. And it seemed like a different world, a different, it's so far away. That it was incomprehensible, that it was just a different lifetime. And now the 80s is that, to this generation. And it's kind of similar in how he tells the story about his family, about, he tells in the individual parts about his mom and his dad, how they were.
It's not as heavy though.
There were a couple of heavy episodes in Young Sheldon. Yeah, there were. There was some good. There was not as heavy. Yeah. No, well, because you had the background of the civil rights movement. There was some pretty poignant moments in Young Sheldon. But I really appreciated it. I was like, oh, this is a good show that young people are watching. This is one of those shows that they don't have enough of, to really like kind of like teach them things, because parents just don't want to teach that stuff about sex and life and all that stuff. It's hard to talk to your kids about that stuff. So when the TV can do it, it's it's better. It sucks though when like a great show ends. Like a part of your life is ending. It's weird. Like if you've invested like
family dying.
Yeah, like when you see that like last episode. Remember in the 80s and 90s, always used to be that last episode was always, they always had to move for some reason. And the last scene is the apartment or the house shown empty.
Being sold.
Yeah, being sold, and the house is now empty, and they're leaving. And they close the door behind. They do that little look back. They shut off the lights. It's like that was so every sitcom, even Friends, I think did like.
Yeah, they moved out of the apartment.
They moved out of the apartment.
Everyone
they did
moved
it
away.
like that. Right.
Joey moved to California.
Yeah. They did that. That was a very common series.
Well, the heavy was the Wonder Years last episode.
Oh right, the dad.
It was awful. I think I cried on that one. Like that was a weird.
That was heavy.
And it was the 4th of July. Remember the end scene?
Right.
I remember that scene.
Yeah. And he said it in the he said it in the voiceover.
Right. They were showing everybody, and after he was showing him, he was telling what happened to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
he didn't say. He said like dad after dad passed or something. Right. And it was like it was heavy.
It was heavy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's sad when the shows end. You feel you connected with it for so long, and then it just goes away. And sometimes that's how shows